Hey, hi, hello. Today we're going to be looking at another one of my favorite albums of all time. Right after I finish petting Evie, of course. And it's Muse's The Second Law. Now, this is not actually the physical copy you buy at the record shop. These are just the sleeves from the box. Special edition, the box set. Oof, I don't like how you can see my reflection. And the reason why I only have the sleeves is because way back when oh, okay, Evie. Back in school, I had a friend, and they made a deal with me because they ended up getting the box set edition, and I like really wanted it, but I didn't like own a credit card to buy like something online. Plus, I didn't have the money, and but this was like way back when you could just go to like the mall or something and like buy concert tickets like physically. And then so they told me that if I bought them a Muse concert ticket, that they would give me the vinyls of the box set. And in my head, I thought they meant they would give me the full box set, because I thought like the whole thing was just like just the vinyls. But no, they just gave me the sleeves and kept the box and the CD and all the art prints and whatever else it came with. Which, like, I wasn't like torn up by. I was excited with this album regardless. That being said, I would like to either try to look for the full box set and, I don't know, buy it. It will probably have to be used, but I would not care at all. I'm getting very distracted because I'm petting Evie right now. She is very warm and making me overheat. Not sure if you can see her. There she is. There we go. Hi, Amy. Or, I would just buy, a regular standard edition of it, because I feel like finding the box set in this day and age would be very hard. Oh, my camera. Oh, dear. Ooh. Might have to edit that out. Not sure. That being said, I spun these records so much. It's double LP. We'll look at the first one. I like the alternate art on the first one the most. The actual artwork for the full album is obviously the best in my opinion. But there it is. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a brain or something. I don't know. And on this part, we got half the album. We got Supremacy, Madness, and Panic Station on one side. The Survival Prelude, Survival, Follow Me, and Animals on the other. Every track is an absolute banger from start to finish. And then we go to the other LP. It's pretty cool too. Kind of looks like Play-Doh strings. And on the other LP, we got Explorers, Big Freeze, Save Me. And on side D, we have Liquid State, The Second Law, Unsustainable, and The Second Law, Isolate System. Very intense and cool closers. I don't think the vinyls have anything special to it. I think they're just black. We will look at them. There's like a little bit of art on the sleeves. On the sleeves within the sleeves. Yeah. That seems to be pretty much it. Oh, okay, it says the tracks on there. See reflection of Eevee. Hi, Eevee. This has to be one of my most anticipated albums ever in my life. I remember the way I got into Muse was from my brother, obviously. And I think he was showing me tracks back in the Absolution days. And I remember, like, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And it didn't, like, I was too young at the time, so it's like I wasn't going out of my way. And downloading music on my own, I would just listen to whatever my brother was listening to. And then when I was old enough and when music like really started to click with me, it was in their next album, Black Holes and Revelations, Knights of Cydonia. I'm not sure actually how you pronounce it. That one blew my mind, and the reason why I heard it was obviously through my brother and I would play Guitar Hero 3 religiously, and that was my favorite song to play. I loved it so much. I wasn't good at the game. I would play like beginner and the bass lines, but I loved the song so much, and that's how I got into Muse. And I listened to Black Holes and Revelations like on repeat. I listened to everything by Muse. I think I didn't even know like which album was like the first album, which album was like the most latest album. I remember what I did was I got so obsessed with Knights of Cydonia, I don't know, that I think the next track that blew me out of my mind, it was in their Origin of Symmetry album. Hi, Amy. Back for some more. Okay. And it was Micro Cuts. And like, I don't even think I was like listening on my iPod at the time because my brother had downloaded just a bunch of Muse tracks. And I wasn't even listening to the album. It was just like a bunch of Muse tracks in a playlist. And Micro Cuts absolutely blew my mind. And I think Origin of Symmetry was the first album that I would listen to from start to finish. And so I I just went on a huge Muse spree. And then I think near the end of that year that I got into them, The Resistance came out. And that was so good. Muse, until this day, I don't listen to Muse a lot. But I think if you had to, like, if I had to tell you, like, if I had no choice but to tell you, like, what's my favorite band, like, if you were to ask me, I would be like, that's too hard. Like, I love music so much. I would not be able to know what my favorite band is. But if I had to pick a band, I think it has to be Muse. And I know that there's been like the fan base has kind of dropped for them a lot. They're a little too like mainstream, and their new music is like questionable at times, especially when they're doing like electronic stuff, pop music. But like, it's just such a guilty pleasure for me. It's all so good. I love it so much. That being said, they announced the second law like a few years back, and I remember just like looking up every day like when the album was gonna release. And yeah, that I just was so excited. And then so let's actually start talking about the tracks of this album, The Second Law. I could not have been more pleased. I remember my brother even like visiting me and being like, hey, have you listened to the new Muse album? Like smiling. And yeah, he knew that I was gonna lose my mind. And so when I first spun this record, which like my first listen to the album was through the vinyl. I wanted it to be very special. Supremacy played, and this Supremacy, the first track, is so good. It has like a lot of strings, and Chris's bass is just so crunchy and so good. Actually, it might be the guitar, bass, both. It's so good. Imagine like, I think that song they were trying to, I think it was like in a lineup for a possible songs to be for like the Skyfall James Bond movie intro. But then they ended up going with Adele's Skyfall song. But I could be wrong. I think that was just like a rumor. But the beginning track is very Bond-like and very good. And then surprise, surprise, Madness is the second track. And that actually, I was blown out of the park by Supremacy. And I was kind of upset a little bit. But I had already heard Madness a lot because it was the first song released out of the album. Technically, Survival was, I believe. But Madness was the first single released. And so, like, I was already used to the song, so I knew what was coming. But I kind of had a thing with slower tracks, like, as a second track of an album. Like, I feel like Supremacy Into the Madness, it really, like, loses that energy a bit. But, I don't know, like, it works. It works. It's like it's almost supposed to lose the energy. And Madness is so good. The bass is very electronic. I'm pretty sure he's using, you can see in the music video, it's like a touchpad bass or something. It's something silly. Very like whoop 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 sounding. It's very good and it's very adorable. And then go right into Panic Station, which every track in this album, by the way, is just next station is a very like funky, like upbeat, dancey track with another pounding bass line that I immediately had to look into and try to learn on the bass at the time. This song I remember was an absolute hit in my high school and was getting played at so many like private parties. And then we go on to the next track, Survival Prelude. I remember Survival was released as a first song from this album because they were playing it at the Olympics at the time, and which was amazing. I remember like staying up late to watch it live, and it's truly one of the best tracks on this album, I think. And they released Survival, and for some reason in the album release, they the intro, the prelude, it's right here. It was part of the song initially, but they decided to like separate it as like two separate tracks, which is odd because the prelude's only like 30 seconds long, so it doesn't really bother me that much, but it's just like, why do you do that? You might as well just like keep it. Sorry, Evie. Aww. Like you might as well just like keep it on, what am I trying to say? As like the same track. Every time I look at Evie, I just get so distracted. But yeah, Survival is very good. It's just, it gradually gets more and more intense. The background choir is intense, and Matthew Bellamy ends up like hitting probably one of the highest notes he's ever hit in singing wise. And then right after Survival, we have Follow Me. Follow Me, I'm pretty sure was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure at the time, the artist Nero, which is like a dubstep artist, helped produce Follow Me, and, yeah, it's a very like dubstep pop song, Follow Me, and it's just super catchy. I believe Matthew Bellamy also had his kid at the time, and used like, or he didn't have his kid yet. They did an ultrasound, and they used the heartbeat as like the rhythm from it. Kind of cheesy, but it works really well. And then we go to Animals. Animals is crazy. First of all, it's in 5/4. Not a lot of songs are in 5/4, so it's always crazy and cool to have a really good song being played in 5/4. And yeah, it's kind of like, it's almost a little bit like Survival, less intense, but it just gradually gets more intense. And I think this one, like, I really liked seeing Animals being played live, and I would love to see them play that song live like more often. It's really good. It's really good storytelling. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna put the first half down. Oop. Oh my goodness. And now we're on to the second half. Hey, Evie, we're on to the second half. I wonder if I can reach my coffee from here. Definitely not as hot as it was, but still like very warm. which was very upbeat, very fast. Except for Madness. Except Madness also gradually like gets like faster and more intense near the end. But Explorers is the actual slow track of the album. And it's it's very like it's very cute, and it's like where it is in the album, it belongs there. There's a part when they do like a harmony bridge in the song, and that always gives me like that always makes the hair stick up on my skin. Not because it just sounds very good. It's very pretty. I love Explorers. It's really good. And then Big Freeze. Big Freeze, in my opinion, I feel like this could have been a single. I feel like they put it's one of the more less. They probably didn't put a lot of time into it as much as the other tracks, like the first half. It's very just bare bones, just Muse, the three of them, playing a track. Very U2 inspired. There's a cool synth in the background during the chorus that I really like. But I wish Big Freeze was more popular than what it was, because I would have loved to see that one live. And then we head on to Save Me. So Save Me and Liquid State should be played together, because they're the only songs in the entire Muse discography that Chris, the bassist, actually sings just on his own. And I'm pretty sure he wrote these songs too, and it's so touching to hear. It's always nice when a front band gives other bandmates I don't know, the front man attention. And Matthew Bellamy knows when to he doesn't take the scene all the time. He's a really good front man. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm just so obsessed with this album, with them. So anyways, Save Me is Chris's slower song that they sing. It's really cool, very echoey, very I don't know how to describe it. Dreamy. It's very dreamy. And his voice is actually really, really good. You can always hear his voice in backup vocals in past songs. But it's always kind of just faintly there. And also Matthew would do his own harmonies sometimes too, so you never really get to hear Chris use his full potential, but he's got a very lovely voice. I really like this song. Also, Matt ends up going crazy in guitar in the background, doing lots of little solos. And it's not in front of everything, it's behind everything. Very nice. And then Liquid State is the hardcore, hard-hitting rock song of this album. And I think Chris nails it out of the park again too. He has a really cool voice. If Chris were to ever I could see him making a punk rock band if he were to ever decide to do his own stuff. Which I've always liked, because the band just seems like they love making music together. And they get along really well. So Muse has just been continuing for years. Liquid State is just so good. There's just so much going on. And then the chorus is the chorus is to die for, when he says his lines, and there's last two tracks. The very theatrical. The second law, unsustainable, has like a little dubstep part in it. And it's not really dubstep, but like dubstep was very popular in this era of music. What was this? I think this was like 2012, 2013. I can't remember. And but like it's all done on like guitar and stuff, and it's really cool. Also, the intro has like a lot of strings. Very like imagine like watching a trailer for like the Batman movies at the time, like The Dark Knight, like very like low choir and like heavy I don't know, theatrical drums in the background, and it works so well. It just sounds like something that needs to be played in a trailer for an intense action movie. And speaking of movies, Isolated System, which oddly enough might be my favorite track in this album. It hits me so hard. It's beautiful. From start to finish. I love this track. It's one of my favorite closing tracks in all Muse albums. And I feel like they always have really good closer tracks. Nothing can beat Knights of Sodonia, but Sodonia, I don't know. But it's, oh my gosh, it's so good. And like, if you've seen, weirdly enough, I think a couple years later or something, that movie World War Z came out. And, oh, sorry, Evie. And they used that track as like the opening scene music. It became like the theme song or something, like the soundtrack for the whole movie. And which I found weird because I was listening to that song a lot already. So sometimes I remember like once I was in a car with somebody and it came on a shuffle and someone's like, "Why do you have the World War Z soundtrack on your iPod?" And I felt like a fool. No, not actually, I told them. But yeah, I don't know. That's really cool. So if you've seen the movie, then you'll know the track. And they took out, because it's got like TV report clips in it in the movie, but like the album version has like different stuff they say. It's really cool, very concept-y. I like it a lot. I feel like I spent more time ranting about just Muse in general instead of the actual album. I love them a lot, and I love this album. I think that's pretty much it. Evie is very cozy. Let's look at her more. Oh, my little bear. Alright, I think that's where I'll end this video then. Let me know if you like this album. What are your favorite tracks? If you have any cool, interesting facts or trivia about this album, feel free to let me know. I love that kind of stuff. I'll just gobble it up. Alright, thanks for watching.